Who here wants raving fans? Who here wants to know how simple it is to actually engineer your raving fans, right? Because that is what I'm going to be taking you through in today's training. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to know exactly how to engineer your raving fans and how we are going to do it for your own e-commerce business. I am an e-commerce sales coach, and hundreds of entrepreneurs just like you grow their own e-commerce business. For the best advice on using virality marketing to grow your e-commerce business, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a video every Thursday. And today I'm going to walk you through the 3 secrets to engineering your raving fans. Today we are going to be talking about engineering your raving fans, because as you should know by now, we are all about how we create the systems and the frameworks to make it really, really simple to get things done, and then how we can use the data to tell us what's working and what's not working. Okay, that is what it is all about here. And we do this with everything, right? Including building up our raving fans, right? And there's so many reasons why this is important. The first is that, of course, they buy more. Okay, our raving fans will buy more. The success rate of selling to a customer you already have is something like 60 to 70%. That's a success rate. Okay, now the success rate of selling to a new customer, like a brand new customer, is more like 5 to 20%. So you can see the discrepancy, right? You can see the difference between trying to sell to a new customer and trying to sell to an existing one. Now, put on top of that, that if you can increase your customer retention by as little as 5%, you can actually increase your profits from anywhere between 25 to 90%. Okay, that's how important it is, you guys, to focus on your existing customers, to focus on building your raving fans. So yeah, they buy more, right? Now, the second reason why we want to create our raving fans is that they cost less. So not only do they buy more, but they cost less. Acquiring a new customer can cost 5 times more than retaining an existing one. Okay, this is a no-brainer, you guys. So that's the second reason, right? They cost less. Now, the third reason is that when you have raving fans, you are building up your advocates and your ambassadors. Okay. Now, one agency found that existing loyal customers are 5 times likely to purchase. They're 5 times as likely to forgive if you or when you stuff up, because we all eventually do, let's be honest. They're 4 times likely to refer, and they're 7 times as likely to try a new offer, a new product that you launch. Okay, you guys, these numbers are compelling. Okay, so you need to be thinking about how you create, how you build, how you engineer your raving fans. So, and you guys now, right? I know that you guys are now on board with thinking about how to build up your raving fans, right? Are you guys on board? Do you guys get this, right? Are you excited about jumping in and thinking about how to actually create your raving fans? Now, there are so many ways that you need and could be thinking about doing it, okay? Because it starts from the very beginning. It starts, like, for anyone who's done my challenges, my boot camps, you know that it starts from the bottom of your buyer ladder, right? Connecting with people who are completely cold to you, who don't even know you, to when they're curious about you, when you convert them, and then becoming your advocates and your ambassadors. Okay, that's the buyer ladder that we're actually building out. And throughout this whole process, you need to be thinking about the experience that you are creating so that you are engineering your raving fans. Now, when they're at the very bottom, okay, they're cold and they're getting curious, right? Then connection and providing value is going to get you the furthest. Okay, that is what you want to be focusing on when they're cold and just getting curious. Now, at this point, you are aiming to create the know, like, and trust factor. Okay, and if you can give your customer value unprompted, right? They're not prompting you, you're just giving it to them. You will start already to engineer your raving fans already. Okay, now I cover this a lot in the bootcamp, so I'm not going to spend too much time here, because then it starts to get really cool, right? And it starts to become really exciting once you actually start converting them and they become buyers and they actually order something from you. This is when you can now interact and communicate with them at a totally different level. Okay, so let's get into this part, shall we? Who's interested? Let me know now that I can see the comments. Who's interested in learning how I think about, and I'm currently thinking about, how to engineer raving fans? Let me know if you're ready to get into it, because this is going to be a pretty cool one. It's going to be pretty interactive, even if I do say so myself. I mean, I'm I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna big note myself here. I think this is pretty cool. Okay, so there's gonna be 3 secrets I'm gonna cover. Now, the first secret is something called experience hack. Okay, yes, you need to experience hack. So what does this mean? What does experience hacking mean? It means you need to take out your wallet, you need to take out your credit card, use your money and go and buy from your competitors. You need to see what it is that your competitors are actually doing. Okay, what's the experience that they are providing their customers who could essentially be your customers, and not only from your competitors, but anywhere else where you want to hack their experience. Okay, so depending on your product type, like if you're in luxury brands, then you might want to go, and it's going to cost a little bit more to experience hack, but go and buy from another luxury retailer and see how they provide an experience to their customer. If you're kind of in the budget, see what other budget people in retailers are doing, right? So you want to kind of not only look at your competitors, but what other what other retailers at your level are doing as well, what experience they're providing their customers. You want to see all sorts of things, right? You want to see what emails they send, you want to see how their products come, you want to see what packaging they're using, what inserts they provide, how they nurture you, and how they actually get you to buy again. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm going to talk about an example. So we're currently in pre-launch phase of BakerBox NYC. Now, if you want to see what we do, go and check us out on Instagram. We're at BakerBox NYC. Now, so we're getting ready to launch. In fact, I think we're launching tomorrow for pre-sales. And we're going to start to send out and deliver, I think, in a week or so once we kind of get all our packaging and stuff together. Now, we've needed to start to think about the experience that we're creating for our customers, right? So what we did, what any good marketer or business owner should do, is we took our wallets out and we started buying, right? So we bought from, let's see here, we bought from Fat and Weird Cookie. We bought from Bang Cookies. We bought from Killer Brownies. These are all you can see here, right? And all these other, and we bought from like a whole host of other places, like where they are either selling sweets or like a dessert. They're a dessert e-commerce brand. Okay, so that's what we were looking for. And then we started hacking their experience, right? We looked at their welcome emails, their post-purchase emails, their packaging, their inserts, the whole experience that they were providing. And we were able to learn a lot, right? Some things that inspired us, some things that we didn't want to do, we're like, no, don't like that. And some things we could probably do better. So let me talk about an example, which is the unboxing one. Now, remember that you need to be thinking about all of the different touch points. Okay, so but for this training, let me just talk about the unboxing experience as an example. Now, one of the things I love about e-commerce is that we can send things, right? We can surprise and delight in what we send, because you're already sending your customers something, right? Something's coming in the mail. So why not capitalize on that opportunity? Why not use it as a way to surprise and delight, to add value, to add fun, to make them feel special, right? To create that VIP experience. And that's why I love thinking about the unboxing experience. Okay, so we got all these orders, and here, I've already shown you some of the boxes that, we received them in. My favorite was probably this one. This one was a pretty cool type of box. So let's say we model something like this. Okay, that's kind of, we experience hacked them, and we're kind of like, we like this, so we're going to do something, not the exact same, we're not going to copy, but we're going to model something like that. And then we started looking at the inserts. Okay, so these are some of the inserts that we got. So this is, I think we got like a sticker from Fat and Weird Cookies. We got, so Jars by Danny, we got like a postcard insert. That's pretty cool. That's a bit nice. And then they just had like another insert with all their different flavors. And then this one was from Killer Brownie, right? Lovely images. So they had, they were promoting their new summer dessert. They had this is probably Dorothy Lane. I think it's just a collaboration. And then they had something with an insert with their different flavors. All right. So now, I don't know, you guys. I don't know if things did that for you. Apart from the awesome imagery, like some of these brands had some really, really cool images, but we didn't love any of these, right? We didn't love them. So we started thinking about how we can actually work on making this experience better. Right? Because this is an ideal opportunity, you guys, to create more value, especially because they've got their package, they're opening it, they're excited, right? They're excited. And so that leads me actually to my second secret to engineering your raving fans. And this is actually to form a hypothesis about how you can differentiate yourself. Okay, and differentiate yourself in a way that makes a difference to your customer. So not differentiating yourself for the sake of it, but you want to think about, your customer and how can you potentially make a difference in their lives with something that you can send them. Okay, and think about how you could potentially surprise and delight them. Okay, because surprise and delight is actually the core to how it's the art really to how you actually engineer your raving fans. So you hacked all these different experiences, and now this is when you get to be a little bit creative. Okay, this is the fun part. So now you can think about how do you create an experience so remarkable that your customers will want to share about you. Okay, what is your vision for that? So have a think, and don't be limited by anything. Don't be limited by like money or can I do this or operations. Like just let yourself go wild, right? How can you think about your target customer, your brand, your product, and what might be the sweet spot that brings that all together? Okay, so you've got your customer, you've got your brand, your product, and there's a sweet spot in the middle of that Venn diagram of how you can bring all of that together. Okay, so what is that sweet spot? That's what I want you to start thinking about. And I don't know if any of you caught our podcast episode last week. In fact, let me know in the comments who here listened to last week's podcast episode where we basically had a Baker Box team meeting live on our podcast, because on that episode, we had a chat about this, right? What we wanted to create for our unboxing experience. And as we were discussing it, I raised an idea completely out of the blue because I was like, I'm not going to let my mind be limited by anything. What if we did something super interactive? Okay, because our target market, our target customers are obviously the people who love dessert. They also enjoy a little me time, and fundamentally, they love having fun. Okay, fun. They don't take themselves seriously. Okay, and that's what our brand is about. It's also about how do we facilitate, how do we help with some of that fun. So what I started thinking about was like, what if we could include something that doesn't have to be, by the way, our value does not mean that you have to educate all the time. Okay, value can also be fun. It can also be humor, right? You're adding value even by that. So I was just thinking about what's something that we could be that people can interact with. That was kind of like, because you're sending something tangible, right, in a package. So I wanted to think about all the things that we could interact with, and that led me back to my childhood, and to these things called chatterboxes. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but here's an example. I actually prototyped this. So this is kind of like a chatterbox. It looks like this, and it's one of those things where you let me know, you guys, did you ever play with these? This takes me back to definitely my childhood. Anyway, my printer only does black and white, but imagine that these are super colorful, okay? Like they'd be really, really cool. And so we would put sort of the flavors of our cakeys, of the products that we're actually sending. And what they would do is they would play with it. So we leave them instructions, and then when they open it, now I haven't quite done this, but we'll put a QR code, actually lead them to a particular, what would lead to a particular dessert construction inspiration video. Okay, now let me just pause and explain that a little bit. So the whole concept behind Baker Box NYC is that you get like these things called cakeys, then you get like fillings and toppings, okay? And you basically essentially have your own fun putting them together and assembling them for yourself. You can do it with your kids, you can do it for yourself, you can do it for a dinner party, but essentially you construct it how you want to. And so what we're going to be doing is we're going to be shooting some inspiration videos, like things like have a think about what cool and exciting and new things can you bring to these cakeys. So what we're thinking of doing is actually each QR code will send them to one of these inspiration videos. And so they can get started, right? And that's what we want to be doing. We want people to start to use our product. We want to have people start to actually do it, because once they do it, because they're already excited then and there, they've just unboxed it. You want them to start doing it because that's when they get the value, okay, when they're excited. And then not only that, so I was like, okay, that could work. And then what they would do is, or we would leave them also instructions that they could like unfold the whole thing. And then on the back side, I haven't yet designed this, but there would be another QR code, right, on the back, and that would actually lead them to a special offer to then repurchase again. Okay, can you guys see what's happening here? Like, we're essentially taking them down a funnel. It's an interactive funnel, QR codes that they can scan, and so it's kind of bringing the physical and the digital together, and then ultimately so that they can then repurchase, because that's what we want them to be doing. We want them to repurchase. Now, if you listened to the podcast episode last week, we did think about, do we want to be driving repurchases, or do we want to be driving reviews? Okay, so there's no right or wrong. It's just going to be, what outcome do you want for your business? Now, for us, we were like, I think we want to, because repurchases will give us a lot of good data. So will reviews, I'm not going to lie, but that could be, the next, like when they repurchase, that could be the next thing, right? So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know, you guys, am I totally off base here? But I was like, let's just test this. Now, will this be successful? We don't know. I don't know. Okay. But we have to start somewhere. So this is why this is our hypothesis. And for every test that we do, we always need to have a starting hypothesis, right? That's always going to be the case, right? Who gets this? Let me know in the comments. If you get that, for everything that we do, we need to start somewhere. So I want you to do what we've done. Okay, so hack your competitors and other e-commerce brands, and then come up with your hypothesis of how you can create an experience that differentiates you and surprises and delights your customers. So for example, if you have a product for pets, can you put, I don't know, like little treats in for your customers' pets? In fact, can you just address everything to the pet like they ordered it, right? Not the human, not the owner, right? If you're targeting mums, can you put something in for their kids, right? Maybe a small coloring book or something that can keep them occupied, so mums have some time to go and enjoy their purchase. Right, so you guys, like, can you see how the world is literally your oyster? Like your imagination is your limit. Okay, so guys, create an experience that is so different, that will surprise and delight. And this is how you actually engineer your raving fans. So step one, secret one, is you've hacked your competitors, right? You've come up with a hypothesis. So that's secret two. You've come up with a hypothesis about how you can create extra value for your customer. And so that leads me to my third secret, which is to test the hypothesis, because this is probably no longer a secret, but we always want to be data driven, right? If you've been hanging out with me long enough, you know how we anchor everything that we do in the data. So how can we do this? How can we actually test that? Because this is the thing, it's physical, right? How can we know, short of, calling our customers up and being like, hey, did you get the thing? What did you think, right? How can we tell? How can we tell what's actually working? Now, what I want you to think about is, in everything that you do, you need to be intentful. You need to be intentful with it, okay? I hope you get that. Like, every step of the funnel, every step of your buyer ladder, all of that, you need to be incredibly intentful. So that means with all these things that you're providing, how can you get them to do something? Do something that sends data back to you, okay, so that you can test its efficacy. So let's talk about this Baker Box example. We are, as you know by now, we're going to be using QR codes everywhere. So how they start the game is, they're going to have, just imagine they'll have this will be in their package, and they'll have probably some kind of like postcard thing as well, right? It'll be like, I don't know, thanks for buying. It won't be as boring as thanks for buying from Baker Box, but something to thank them. But then it'll start off with instructions, and the instructions will be, here, scan this QR code to get started. So they scan that QR code, right? That is going to be data set number one. Did they get started? Okay, and then in that video, it'll tell them, I think what we're going to do is we're going to have a randomizer that will have these 4 words on it. It'll be like a wheel. It'll be on the computer. So when they click it, it'll choose one of these, and then they get, I don't know, apple. Then they, go APPLE, and then they'll get another wheel with 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's what they open. And so at every point, because they're also interacting with something digital, we can actually get that data back, right? So when they scan a QR code, we can see what's actually, like, how many people have scanned it. When they scan then the next QR code, we can actually see how many people scanned it. And when they scan the next QR code, which will be the repurchase one, we'll be able to see how many people scanned it, right? So can you guys see, like, at every point, we can see who's dropped off and who's actually playing along. And if the percentage of people who are not playing along is really high, then we're going to have to rethink this whole thing. Okay, we're going to have to rethink this whole thing because it's clearly not working. Somewhere it's not working. If, for example, they're clearly not scanning the first QR code, then is this the most effective thing, right? Is this communicating to them what it is that we wanted them to do? If they're doing that, but then they're not scanning the next QR code, then clearly the game is really ineffective. Okay, this thing is not working. So then we're going to have to change that up. So do you see, you guys, how if you can actually combine the digital with being able to get data with the physical, right, surprising and delighting your customers, that you can then actually get the data back and see where people are dropping off, see what's working, what's not working, and then keep optimizing that, right? You want to keep optimizing that. So think about things that you can track. Things like QR codes, link clicks, repurchases, your social proof funnel, so getting reviews, whether they're joining your ambassador program, right? Like, what are all the things, where are like all the steps in the funnel that you can actually put something there that you can then get the data back? Because I know, like, I know how hard it is sometimes for a physical, like, I get it, right? Hospitality, and that's where I started, is one of the hardest industries to actually get good data, because I don't know, like, someone will just come in and order something. I don't know where they came from. I don't know how they heard about us. I don't know, like, are they going to come back? I don't know any of this stuff. That's why I love online. And it gets a little bit easier when you're in e-commerce, because yes, your sales happens online, but then you don't know what happens once they get the package, right? Unless they leave you a review, but you don't know what's happening after that. So now you can actually you can create these micro moments, these micro steps where you're actually getting more data. And then if you have a completely online business, coaching, like if you do courses and stuff, then that's a lot easier to be tracking. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring the online elements to you guys, to something physical that you're sending out, and how you can then use that data smartly, intelligently, to help you make decisions, right? So this is the thing, like, this is why I love online. This is why I love e-commerce, okay? Because this stuff is all doable. Do you guys see this, right? Let me know if this is making sense, because that's how I want you to start to think about your own business. I want you to be really, really data-driven, so that you start to make intelligent marketing decisions, because that's what we're all about here, right? Okay, so let's quickly recap, because recap on the 3 secrets to engineering your raving fans. So the first secret is to experience hack. Okay, so you need to take out your wallet, you need to take out your card, your money. You need to go and actually buy from your competitors, buy from other people, other retailers who are in the same kind of, who are targeting the same customer as you. And you want to see, right? You want to see what emails they send. You want to see how their products come. You want to see what packaging they're using. You want to see what inserts they provide, how they nurture and get you to buy again, right? You want to hack all of that. And then the second secret is that form a hypothesis about how you can now differentiate yourself. So based on that experience hack, how can you now create an experience that differentiates you and surprises and delights your customers? And then the third secret is to test, right? Have your customers do something that gives you the data, so that you can see what's working and you can see what might not be working. So with that said, comment below and tell me, who are you going to start to experience hack? Now you know exactly how to engineer your raving fans using my foolproof 3-step formula. But what about implementing? I've written a 1-page cheat sheet on what I've just spoken about, so that you can have that on hand as you are implementing. If you want that cheat sheet, just click on the link below and my bot, Dee the bot, will send it straight over to you. And if you want to take what you've just learned to the next level, then come and join this free community of amazing entrepreneurs just like you, where I share even more free live training on growing your e-commerce business. So go ahead, join my Facebook group at the link below. Now check this video out next on how to connect with your customers so you can make those sales, and this one on the art of asking for reviews. And if you like this video, share it with your friends, be sure to subscribe and share it with all your friends. And I cannot wait to see you on the next video.